All right, so I really have no content in my head at all, and I figured I'll just do a video, maybe a short one. I tried reading up on Cortez and Vlad some more. The dates are interesting. I think Vlad died in, they say, 65, 67, sometime in the 1460s. And Cortez was born, I think, in the 1480s or 1470s. So literally right after each other. I didn't learn anything new. Same stuff on Vlad. Cortez, led that expedition, that conquering in the name of Spain and whatnot. Yeah, so some sources do confirm that he had a child um, in Mexico, which is called New Spain at the time, and he was considered the governor of New Spain. Um, I don't know. I mean, we all know. Like I told you, as far as I knew, the and by the way, I've watched nothing but accredited sources. Like even like when I'd watch anything, and I'll tell you, when I was younger, and I mean much younger, like when I was a kid, I had become very obsessed with history of different countries, including Egypt. Egypt was the first country that I had, or the first land that I had become interested in. And the reason was that in third grade, they did a unit for us, an entire month or a unit on ancient Egypt. And we were also sent to the museum, the local museum in the city, which was doing an expedition on Egypt. So we did a field trip to there. So I became very interested in it, and I even started. So they told us, okay, you got to do an assignment or a project, and you got to write about such and such. And I took it very seriously. I mean, I actually got a good mark in it, not because I was trying to get a good mark for grades, but because I had a genuine interest in the topic that they had there. I mean, this whole, oh, how did they build these pyramids? Why are there mummies of people, of these rich people? Why is there gold everywhere in that pyramid? There was just so much to talk about. Now, I never got into the religious history of any country because I really don't give a shit. But I know that sounds bad. I just don't give a shit. But I mean, the fact that we actually went on an expedition. We actually went to the museum to see the whatever I said the right word, but the exhibition or whatever it's called, and that really, that was some real stuff. We actually got to see actual stuff, so that was cool. Where was I going with this? But anyways, when I was young, that's a start. And then when I was about, even 12 years old, 13 years old, I really got into History Channel and Discovery. So they had a Discovery Channel, a typical Discovery. They had a History Channel, and they had a channel called Discovery Civilization, which was based on history and civilizations. And I used to binge watch that stuff all the time. I mean, I have seen thousands of different documentaries on there. And I even had National Geographic for like animals and stuff. And I used to watch every little thing. So, I do believe in accredited sources and things like that. What else can we really say? I mean, yeah, there's really not even much to say. Everything would just be, I was thinking I'm just gonna recap all the stuff I've been talking about for weeks. I've talked about coming out at that time. And I don't need to explain that, but I've talked about, hold on. I've talked about being genuinely a child and formally an adult, and being genuinely an adult and formally an adult. And I've talked about all sorts of stuff. So I got something to say, and I'm gonna end it with this. Is that whenever things are updating, it's not, things never get put up right away when they're being updated. It usually takes weeks or a month or a month. It usually takes weeks. A lot of times people come into knowledge of something but don't talk about it. And you know what? A lot of times people feign ignorance on purpose, claiming facts that are totally off just to claim them as facts. And that makes me glad that, that I don't live in places like Dubai. You know what I mean? That makes me happy that, that And it makes me happy, reading about this stuff, and in this particular two guys, knowing about my Latin history. I mean, this, like, just the hair and all that, and I post videos now every now and then, and you see it, you see the color of the hair. That is Latin hair, and let me explain. So typically in the Latin race, we didn't have blonde-haired and blue-eyed people. Okay, the Latin race and the Latin, I mean, as old as the Roman Empire, that goes down to like Italy is like pretty southern. I think on the southern tip of Europe. You know what I mean? Italy's on the southern tip of Europe. Spain is on the southern tip of Europe. Places like Romania are kind of around, but like Central Europe. But the thing is that this, like again, blue-eyed blonde hair historically is known to originate from the Scandinavian states, which are way up in Northern Europe, which we're talking about Norway, Sweden, Finland. They're way up in the north. That's where the blonde hair, blue-eyed Europeans came from. And Western Europe has different type of people. Now, Latin people, and I'll tell you right now, so, there was a Disney movie called Road to El Dorado. I did not watch the movie. I watched like the first 10 minutes. So the main two characters, by the way, Hernan Cortez is in that movie, okay? And he looks like a big scary guy. But there's another two guys in there who are thieves or whatever, but they're the main characters. One of them, I think, has black hair. One of them has hairs like me. Okay, what happens is that in Latin people, we don't get blonde hair and blue eyed, but and some of us have black hair, but some of us have the lightest shade of brown, right? We call it auburn. We got the lightest shade of brown in our hair. I don't have a single black hair in my body. Yesterday, I caught some sunlight and I pulled up my pants up to my knees, and the hairs on my legs were the same color as the hair on my head. The sunlight hit it, and the hairs on my legs were the same color as the hair on my head. So, Latin people, this is a very, very Latin trait. I mean, to be very honest, Latin features are very obvious to see. When you see a Latin person and you see an old Latin person, you could have black hair and all that, but Latin features and characteristics are something that are not difficult to pick out at all. They are distinct in Europe. And this is like as obvious as it gets. I could be blonde hair and blue eyed and claim that I grew up in a Chinese family or a Korean family. And, people would look at me and be like, dude, Chinese and Korean people naturally don't have that hair. And we can see your characteristics. You're Latin 100%. You know what I mean? You see what I'm trying to say? Like fact over fiction. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. I could put 100 hours into getting the best actors and making a fictitious play on a real historic event and saying that that's history. But people will always know what the real fact is and what the fake fact is. And when I say people, it doesn't have to be everybody, but you just need enough people, some people who know. This is very Latin. This is as Latin as it gets. The features, all the features, it's all Latin. And that's pretty much it, That's why I brought up those two guys. That's why I was reading up on them. I just kind of reiterate that whole Latin thing. Like this dude is so not like you cannot be from the Indian subcontinent, meaning any Indian country. No Indian countries have this as an actual genetic. Most Arabs don't have this as an actual genetic. Okay, most all the Orientals don't, all the Africans don't. Okay, this is specifically a Caucasian trait, which is European. All right, if you have every hair on your head is the lightest shade like this, 100%, dude, you are at least 90. And if you're looking at my whole face and everything, that's 100% Latin, man. I'm fucking pure Latin, man. Pure 100% Latin, man. This is all Latin, man. You know what I mean? It's like seeing somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes. And even if they tell you, oh, I'm from Senegal, you'll look at them and be like, you'll smile. And if the guy's really stubborn, you won't want to say anything to him. But in your head, everybody's going to be like, he's obviously not from Senegal. He's obviously European. And most likely, he's a European Latin. All right, so I'm not gonna repeat a lot of stuff, but that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I got a video up, and I'll try to come back later, hopefully with better content. Well, better content as in fresh, new content, which is good.